Now we're going to create our first assembly. So first thing we need to do is make sure that we've got our files from the assignment inside of our folder. So we want to make sure that they're inside of our project folder. So this is my project folder that I had in thaw space. And so I have wedge screw, the wedge, and the base. So they're all in there, so we should be good. So we're going to create a new assembly. So standard.iam, say create. Now it typically defaults to place from content center. If we drop this down, we should be able to place imported CAD files. We've got a couple of other things we can do. If we just hit place, we should be able to find them. So we should be able to select these. And you can hold down Control and click each one of them if you'd like. Say open. And we're just going to place them. Oop. Cancel on the second set, otherwise you get multiple sets. And so now we should be able to move these around. So we're going to take our parts and we're going to mate them together. First thing I like to do is make our base be grounded. You're going to notice the push pin there. In order to do that, we right click on it, come down here, we say grounded, and make sure that's check marked. That'll make sure it stays in the same spot. So our constraint, we're going to constrain this. So we're going to use a tangent constraint to begin with. So you can choose tangent to the outside edge. You choose the surface and choose the surface there. Notice it didn't insert all the way. We can go back and fix that. It's not a big deal. Say apply. We're going to now do butt the two faces together. So we're going to mate those faces. So we're going to mate this face here with the backside flat surface of our base. And there it is. You're going to notice it kind of slid down. It's okay. We can mess with that in a little bit. And I'm going to keep rotating this back around to where it gets in place. So my next thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to take this back face back here that we can't see and flush that with this piece. So we're going to pick that side. Rotate this around where you can see that. And we're going to flush those two together. You notice it didn't slide it on top of there. It just made it to where it faces the same direction and put those together. So we apply that. So now we're going to mate the bottom surface to that and the top surface to that. So we're going to do there and there. So now you're going to notice they're starting to slide together with each other. So now the last thing we really need to do is we could go ahead and we could flush these up, but I'm going to go ahead and put the screw inside of there and see if that helps to hold everything together. So we're going to apply that. And we're going to take and notice that we can get actually a midpoint of our whole bolt to show up. And we can take a midpoint of our drill hole, pop those into place. And as you notice, once we did that, everything pretty much lined up. So we pretty well have everything in place at that point. So we're going to apply that. We're going to go and close out of that. What we would like to do now is we would like to see how much interference, whether these screws are actually lining up correctly or whether they're not. So it's a nice little handy thing to be able to do at some point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change our view. So we're going to come to view. We're going to change our visual style. So we're going to go to a wireframe, model edges only. So now you can kind of see the parts. Kind of an interesting view. What we want to do at this point is inspect, and we're going to analyze for interference. We have to define our parts. We're going to check our first top sliding piece, our wedge, and we're going to take our bolt and we're going to check those together. So we're going to say OK. It's going to give us some information over here. A lot of the times it's going to show you like this, and it really doesn't give you the information you want to see. So we need to make some modifications. So at this point we're going to expand that out. We're going to come down here and it says threads, so we want to see what's happening with those threads, and we're going to try to do some matching threads. And now if you notice, it's going to show us some overlap and it's going to show us some interference that's happening, and it's going to give us some more information. At that point, that is the information that it would be asking for you to put into the assignment. So that's how to show some interference and assemble and constrain our parts.